beehive. This is the fanciest beehive ever. You're like, these flowers are fake, man. So this is my niece, Hillary, and she is a new beekeeper, and she's going to show us how to get started in beekeeping.
So I am like definitely the greenest beekeeper ever, I think, because these hives have been in place just since the beginning of April, and here we are at May 13th, I think. So they're brand new. I ordered them as packages of bees, so they came in a 3-pound package.
Where did you order them from?
I have a local club.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's one of the best things that you can do is find a local club or a local mentor, because there is so much to learn and so much to plan for.
Way ahead of time.
Way ahead. So I started the whole process last May, so probably a year ago, learning and trying to figure out what I needed to do next. And one of the first things was to figure out, am I allowed to have bees in the area I'm in because I am in town?
Yeah.
And so that was first.
So what do you have to do to find out if you can have them or not?
So I started by going to our town website and just searching through the ordinances and the policies to see if I could find anything that referenced them, and I found it. So part of what I had to do was request a special exception and go to the town council, which could be, that could be the case in any town, but they could be all different. Who knows? So
It could be a county thing.
It could be. So, but I went to the town council and requested approval. They looked at our lot size and that kind of thing and said, yep, sure, that's fine. I did have to send letters to all of my neighbors within 100 feet of the property.
And of course, you have neighbors all around you.
Yes,
that's a lot of letters.
It was 24 letters.
Okay.
It was 24 letters. So that, and then I had to go to a town council meeting and talk to the council and present my proposal and say, here's why, I would like to have bees, and, ask for permission. And they said, they approved it and voted or whatever. But then I also could have to go back to a meeting later on, just kind of as a refresher to say, are you getting any complaints? Are your neighbors happy or not happy or whatever? So that's kind of future state and what that looks like. So I'm just hoping at this point I can keep the bees alive. That's the goal, alive.
So you had to give them your why. So what is your why? Why did you want to raise bees?
I thought it would be a great hobby to have and figure out, and then maybe somewhere down the road, it can be a retirement business. And I could have honey and honey products and go to farmers markets, and I thought that would be really fun. So I thought maybe I could incorporate plants, and then we also have chickens and eggs, and so that's kind of the why, and then kind of a long-term plan.
Okay.
The other thing that is really important when you're trying to learn the process is read everything you can, watch all the videos that you can. There are people that make videos that don't know what they're doing, and some do know what they're doing. So I did really go towards some books too. I thought I need to read some things that have been, verified and scientific. So I wanted to read as much as I could, and I was just a sponge. I did also join the Indiana Beekeepers Association and went to a fall conference. They hosted a bee school in February, and so I went to bee school. And through all of that and learning, I thought, that prepping was really good for the knowledge piece. The other part of the prepping that's really important is equipment. You've got to have safety equipment. You have to have...
Now, how much would it cost to buy a suit like we have on?
So you're wearing the full suit. I mean, a good suit, you're probably gonna spend
This is what I'm wearing.
or $130 maybe $150. Some of
They
them are
should
more
last
expensive.
pretty long.
Yeah, and then this jacket I got from Amazon, and it was probably $25 or $30, but I can already tell that it's not going to last me a very long time. I've already gotten a hole in it already, so I'm going to invest. That's one of the, I probably will spend a good $100 on a jacket, and something that's going to last a long time in the future. But you know, the gloves, you always want to watch your size on the gloves. That's something that is tough for me because I have small hands, and if my gloves are too big, they get stuck down inside the frames when I'm doing an inspection. But so the safety equipment, you can see like all the woodenware for the boxes
And the paint.
and the paint. But like Home Depot has like an oops paint section.
Yeah.
Where you can get like paint that people have returned, and it's pretty cheap. So I did that and got some things that way.
They're so cute.
My husband built the bases with scrap lumber that we had. But prepping all the equipment.
They look like little stubby horse.
Yeah.
Workhorse.
Like the sawhorses.
Sawhorse. Yeah. Sawhorses. It's like little stubby sawhorses. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, but we so then there's like for a set. So I got 3 like full sets of Bee Hive boxes, and that included like when I ordered a set, it included 2 of these deep boxes, and then it included the bottom board. It included 2 of these medium boxes, and then this top cover, and also this is an inner cover that generally goes right inside the top cover. But all of that, so a set of 4 boxes, the top and bottom, was about $175. So I did, like I tried to find if they were on sale at various places, but I had to do all the work. They were not put together. They were not painted. The frames that came with them, all of them came with 10 frames per box. I had to assemble all of those. So if you buy something that is already painted, already put together, you can expect to pay, you know, $250, $300 for a set.
Now, did you put the roof on, or is that something that came with it? That metal?
Yeah, this is a cover, so this is all one piece right here
To keep it from rotting
cover,
and stuff?
Yep, yep. Protect them from the weather, because it's got to go through all seasons. And since we're in Indiana, we get some rough winters, and it gets pretty cold, and also rainy, hail, sleet, snow, the whole mix. We've got all of it.
So now in the winter, are you going to put them somewhere warmer to kind of protect them from wind and...
They'll stay right here, but what I will do during the winter is I will wrap them with like an insulation
bubble wrap or something?
It's kind of like, I keep thinking like quilt batting, but it's not really quilt batting.
Okay.
It's kind of thin like that, but it's insulation that can be on the outside. And then I'll take straw bales and do like a wind block.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
So outside of that, though, that's, you know, I won't do anything. And I do know some other beekeepers that, I mean, they just don't wrap their boxes and they just leave them, and it works. I mean, bees have been living for lots and lots of years in trees and other places. So.
And in cold climates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting what you was telling me earlier was that even in the cold winter, you said that they did a heat
like an
infrared camera, and even in the cold of winter is 85 degrees in the center of the hive.
Yeah, they keep it really warm in the middle. I mean, the colony gets smaller in the winter to prepare, because they know that they can't keep that many, you know, all of these summer bees and spring bees alive, and they don't live that long anyways, but your winter bees live longer. From what I've read, we'll see next winter how that works. But it's really important for them to have enough. You can't take all of their honey. I mean, they're gonna have to use some, and they're gonna need some for the winter. So this whole this whole box here is theirs. That's all theirs. So those are deep frames. That's where they raise their babies. That's where they keep some resources. So they will have all of that all winter, and then I will also likely leave some honey even up top, just in case they need that. Really, but what's really important for them to survive through the winter is that there's no moisture inside the hive outside of what they're using resource-wise. You know, their honey would be capped, but we would not want them to, you know, you don't want to open it up when it's raining or snowing or anything, because you don't want any
moisture in there.
If that moisture freezes, the bees freeze.
Yeah.
So.
Or it could mold or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This time of year, mold. So.
Yeah.
But you know, as you can see, we've been standing here, and they're not.
Yeah.
They don't care.
I think I've seen 2 bees fly by, and they didn't even like care.
No,
they just coming
they're
in,
busy.
going. And the entrance is on the other side.
Yeah, you can kind of like peek around from the side if you want.
Okay.
Since we're all...
There they are, hopping in and out, coming and going. So have you noticed that they prefer one box over the other?
Well, each box is a colony.
Yeah.
So everybody in this box belongs with this queen.
Oh, okay.
So they have attached themselves to her, and we know this because I was kind of cleaning up around. You can see how the grass grows higher, so I was, you know, trimming the grass down, and I saw a couple of dead bees in the grass, and I thought, oh, I want to look at those a little closer later. Let me scoop them up, and I put them in my bucket and took them back to the house. Well, one of them had been dead a while. One was still really brightly colored and looked really pretty still, and so I thought, oh, well, she hasn't been dead very long. And when I looked at her a little closer and held her in my hand, after a few minutes she started to move. She was cold.
Oh.
She was cold. So I grabbed the flashlight, and I shone the flashlight on her until she started walking around.
Yeah.
And so once she started walking around, I thought, okay, well, we need to figure out and go put her back.
Which one? Which hive?
Right. So my son brought her over, and he said, well, where do you think that you found her? I said, oh, probably closer to the yellow one. And he's like, okay. So he came over here, and he put her at the entrance of the yellow one.
Yeah.
And she kind of walked towards it, and they pushed her into the grass.
Oh.
Like, you don't belong here. And so he picked her up out of the grass, and he went over to the white hive.
Yeah.
And he put her at the entrance over there, and she started to walk towards the entrance. Bees came out and carried her in.
Oh.
So I know they belong somewhere.
Wow. That's so cool how they just carried her in and like, get out of here, and then she's like,
yeah, it's like, you're home, you belong here.
Wow.
So it was really cool experience. It was, because I thought, well, she's dead.
Don't you wish you'd like videotape that so you could see?
I know.
Awesome. All right. So what's next?
So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna light the smoker so that we can keep them a little calm.
Yeah. So what does a smoker actually do? I know it keeps it calm, but like how'd somebody notice that that's what works?
From what I have read is that if you're putting smoke on them, they think that there's a forest fire.
Oh.
So what they're going to do is they're going to go in and they're going to eat and fill their little bellies because they think they might have to leave.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally...
Definitely.
Whoever thought of that was really smart.
Yeah.
Or figured it out.
Uh-huh.
Look at them. So today, you check them like once a week.
I do.
So what are you checking for?
So I'm checking to see if the queen's doing her job, basically. Is she laying eggs? Are there eggs there? Is there larvae there? Because once an egg is laid, it's uncapped and open for about 3 days while it's developing into like this larva that is like round and white. After 3 days, then they'll put a cap on it so that it can pupate and grow into that, baby bee, which does take 3 weeks. So what I'm looking for is, are
open
we having
ones.
Bees hatching? Is everything going well? Do I see the queen? Does she look good? Are they trying to requeen? Do they have queen cells in there because they don't think she's doing her job?
How can you tell a queen from a normal one?
A queen she's bigger. Hopefully we'll see one in one of the hives, but she's bigger, and she moves a little differently, like, and she always has like this cluster of bees around her who are her like attendants. They're feeding her, they're cleaning her, they're, you know, attending to her all the time.
That's why they call her the queen.
The queen and her ladies in waiting or whatever.
Yeah. They got the palm fronds, you know, cooling her off and everything. Yeah. Peeling grapes for her.
Yeah. And so I'm also looking to see how much room they have. So if they are running out of space, which I think we're getting pretty close to, we'll add another box on here to give them more frames to build and more work to do.
So you just add a box on top of the box so you can keep building higher. Well, as high as you're tall, I think that's probably.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you got to get a ladder.
Once you get a full medium box, that's probably honey. So you probably could take it off and harvest it, and then you just replace it with one that doesn't have honey in it, or they need to work on.
How much do they overproduce honey that's like extra that you can take from what they need?
I've read that they will produce like an extra, you know, 40, 60, 80 pounds.
Wow.
Like a really strong hive.
Like what percentage?
I don't know.
Like they do overproduce 80% or maybe just 20%?
No,
like
I'm talking just pounds. We're talking just sheer pounds.
Per...
Like a box like this
will be
full
80 pounds.
Will weigh about 40 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So if they fill
another box
in a season, you got a lot of honey.
So how much do they actually need to use themselves?
Well, some people in Indiana, I haven't really decided just yet how I'm going to winter my bees. I've, you know, I have a mentor, and so I talked to him some, and then I've done some reading, but I'm also going to just read some more, because some people will just winter the bees with this one deep box, and that deep box would have their brood and their resources. So ideally 4 frames out of 10 frames is probably going to be honey. The rest will be where they're, you know, making all the babies and stuff.
So if you have 2, are you seeing one that's doing better than the other, or are they doing pretty well equally so far?
So far it's been equal.
And then you'll see how they go over the winter then.
Right.
All right. So
now, you asked a little bit ago about, you know, like the queen and requeening and queen cells. So if they decide that maybe the queen is old, maybe she's just not laying very well anymore, and they decide, the workers decide that they need a new queen, they will take an egg that she has laid, and they will make it into like a peanut looking cell, and they feed that egg and that larva royal jelly so that it becomes a queen. And then if the queen, that new queen emerges and the old queen is still there, they could fight. And then once you have, however it ends up landing, if you have a virgin queen that needs to mate, she has to go on a mating flight. And I don't think I've ever found anywhere where anyone has caught that on video, because who's going to catch a bee mating? Yeah. And she only has to mate once, and she's good for life. Yeah. So she has to go out and fly and find a drone of hopefully different genetics. But that's the...
Yeah, you have to have a little tiny camera.
Well, and it'd have to be fast.
Yeah.
Because they go fast.
Yeah. So. Wow. All right, so let's show us what you're going to be doing. Okay. You know what I notice is I hear some of the bees flying around, and I don't hear them, and then I hear some of the bees flying around that are loud. Yeah. Like, why is that a thing?
I think that they get a little louder when they're irritated. So when they are, they're like, what are you doing here? You're gonna mess with me? You're around here, you're not normally around here.
Yeah.
So they do get louder.
So do you think they're just beating their wings faster and making, or?
Maybe, I'm not sure how they do it.
Because I don't hear anything, except then I'll hear one bee coming around, and he's like, bzzz, and I'm like, wait a minute, how come I hear you, but I don't hear the other ones flying around silently? Well, and another thing that I noticed, well, I've never been afraid of bees, but if you're going to be a beekeeper, you can't be afraid.
No. You understand that they don't want to sting you. They don't want to die. They have too much work to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want to do some work and, you know, have their colony and raise baby bees.
So they only sting if they absolutely know that they have to take one for the team, basically.
Yeah, that's right. A hive tool is pretty essential.
Okay.
And that's what we'll use to pull frames and really look at things. And then just because the bees stick everything together with propolis, and that's why everything is so sticky. As my gloves are a mess, that's okay. But everything is stuck together. They stick everything.
Would you be able to use like a fire starter in there, or is that may not be good for them?
You can. You can use certain. There are things that they like pellets that they make for smokers.
Oh, okay.
I try to stay away from anything that I think might have had some kind of chemical on it because I'm not experienced enough to know what's going to bother them and what's not.
Right.
So, okay. Yeah, so there. So in here, we've got.
We'll get a dead one.
Yeah,
There
I
at the
squished
top.
it. I'm sure when I put the lid on.
Aw.
So this is a feeder. This is a round top feeder. And inside it is 1-to-1 sugar syrup. They have a little bit left.
Is that in case you don't have a lot of flowers around that you have to
Well,
feed them additionally?
Because these were package bees
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have, they had no resources.
Mm-hmm.
They had no babies, they had no honey, they had no nectar, no pollen, they had nothing. They just came, I got bees. So they have, what you do is you feed them so that they can help produce beeswax and build comb. So that I've been feeding them ever since I got them. So
When can you wean them off?
that's what I'm still trying to figure out. They will stop even using it when they don't need it. So.
Oh, so when you see that they're just not even
when they just don't need it.
drinking it anymore.
So we'll take this box off.
And you got to be careful because they're crawling all around it, so you want to make sure you don't smash them.
I know, it's awful. I hate when I smash some, but that does happen sometimes. Inner cover.
How many do you think that you started with? How many bees?
Maybe 9,000 or 10,000.
What does that look like? Like how many do you think that is right there?
I don't know.
Probably 100.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
200 maybe.
Maybe, yeah. So whenever you set them down, you want to try to find like the points.
Now I hear the buzzing.
Yeah.
Look at them. See, their little butts are going bzzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting louder. Oh, now it's really getting louder.
Well, they think there's a fire, so they're
They're like, oh my gosh, take cover.
We're gonna go eat. All right, so I have this in here.
What is that?
This is a plain Swiffer thing. There's a hive beetle, a small hive beetle that can get in and hurt a weak hive. And it's a little black bug. So what I do is I put those in there and they won't see, there's one right there. See, they chase it into it and it gets stuck.
Oh.
So.
But they don't get stuck.
Well, that's what I'm working on here. I've got a couple of bees that are stuck.
Oh, let's watch her get them all undone there.
It's stuck on there. On there. I can't really pull on a bee.
Can they help each other get it off?
I don't know. Oh, he's almost loose.
It's like them getting in a
like a spider web.
Spider web, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It seems like that they've been mostly successful in not getting stuck, except for these three.
I don't want to pull its leg off. It's like a three-legged race with with a few bees here. Okay, are you unstuck yet? No, you're not.
There's another one stuck.
We got one hive beetle right there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one, but I've also got dead bees or bees that are stuck.
Yeah.
So I did buy something different. I have things that are called beetle traps.
Oh.
So maybe I'll try that.
Yeah. Now I see some of them like just vibrating their little bottom.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
What they do little waggle dances, and
Yeah.
it's how they communicate.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what they're saying, but they do these little dances to tell the other bees what they need to do, where they need to go, or what's going on. They're probably saying, "Hey, there's 2 people in here." So,
or did you see the smoke? We need to get in there.
Right. So you can kind of see here. See how that's stuck together? There's
Yeah.
propolis there that they've used to stick it together. So if I'm gonna get these out.
So if
I
you
have
don't
to
maintain them, that
unstick.
sticker stuff could probably get more hard, wouldn't it? Or is it just stay sticky?
It won't kill anybody.
Now it's getting louder.
Yeah. So here we go. On this frame here, they're making honey. Do you see how shiny it is?
Yeah.
They're putting nectar in there, and they're making honey. So they're definitely getting to the point where they're out of some space.
They just they throw up in there, or like what?
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So like the foraging bees will come back to the hive, and it's kind of like they're throwing. Oh, stuck my fingers in it. They're kind of throwing it up.
I've seen where bees have pollen on their legs.
Yeah.
Then what
see
do they
some of
do?
that. Well, they put the pollen in here. They will use the pollen to make bee bread to feed the baby bees.
They make bee bread.
They do. They put like a little loaf of bee bread in there with a new egg, so the baby bees have something to eat.
So there's honey, and then there's bee bread.
Yeah. Yep. Honey and pollen and nectar and bee bread. So this is pretty heavy.
So what's the difference between honey
That's
and
honey.
nectar?
Well, nectar will turn into honey.
Oh.
They will make it honey. They just they will fan it and see there. Okay, so there's some honey. See that white on the top
Okay.
that is
yeah.
capped?
Right.
That's honey. So all of this frame is all honey.
So when it's full, then
They'll put
they
a cap
it
on
up.
it. Mhm. When it's the right moisture content. They'll cap it.
And this is the honeycomb they made.
They made it, yeah. This was
made it.
just plain, like you can see there's just plain plastic comb that had beeswax.
Isn't that crazy how like uniform it is?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Perfect little hexagons. Get out of the way, guys.
See how my gloves just stick? My mentor doesn't even use gloves, and that's like a goal. I have a goal. So, and when I do a hive inspection, I like to pull one frame out, and then I just move the rest, so that I always put them back the same place they were.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
Okay.
So, oh, I'm sorry. That one I almost squished, so that's why I hurt a little.
Ouchie.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to not squish one.
And how long do they live? Like, it depends on what they are, right?
Depends on the season.
Drone.
Depends on... Yeah.
They're a worker bee or drone. So what's the difference between a worker bee and a drone?
So a drone is a male.
Okay.
Here's a drone right here. This big guy. That big guy right there.
Oh, okay.
That big guy's a drone.
Oh.
And you'll have their only purpose is to mate with queens. They don't really do anything else.
So they're just kind of hanging out and letting the girls take care of everything.
Yes, they are. And they get kicked out in the fall.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times they kick them out and they're like, you take resources, get out of here. So if you look here, they're putting honey all around the outside of this frame. The middle is baby bees. If
Oh,
you
the
look,
yellow.
See, yep, look down in there. There's larvae in there.
Oh, okay.
Little white, like worms, is what they look like. So then all these holes, kind of, they lay the eggs in the middle.
Well,
So
the queen
all of-
does.
The queen does. All the holes in the middle are where bees have hatched.
Oh, okay.
So they will use this frame just for raising baby bees. They keep,
Okay.
you know, honey on the outside.
And that's why they're yellow, not the white.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
Yeah.
nursery, basically.
Yeah, this is a nursery. So if you look in the middle here, there are fresh eggs laid in the bottom of those cells. I mean, they are tiny, tiny.
Way at the bottom. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, yeah.
And I haven't seen our queen yet.
Well,
So.
she has to go, she's got to get around, doesn't she?
She does have to get around.
So I wonder if the bees kind of are assigned to different racks, or they just all over the place?
I think, and this is just from talking to some other beekeepers, I think that when they hatch, they take care of baby bees, because that's kind of like their job. And as they mature, they get a new job. And maybe their last job is a forager, because, you know, maybe the forager, they go out and they die and they don't come back. You know, it's not anything for anybody in here to clean up.
Oh, so when you're making honey, you're not going to take this one for them,
No.
because that's their resource.
No, I'll leave it.
Right.
And then you can kind of see on the bottom, they've made some weird wonky comb.
Ah!
So,
So why do you think they did that? And you got to knock that off, right?
well,
Or no,
I
because
don't,
that's a baby incubator.
I don't think I'll knock that off. I think I'll just leave it. There's not anything that I see wrong with it. And it's not hurting anything. And these are their frames.
Okay.
If they did this on frames that I was going to take, then maybe I would cut it off or something.
If it's just a honey frame.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Hi, Bee.
So,
You want to watch everything going on?
This one's also, this is all capped brood. See those lumpy ones?
Oh.
That's drone comb. That's baby drones.
Oh.
So they look different, obviously, because those are bigger bees.
Yeah. So they got to make a extra
Like, here's a-
two-story.
Yeah. So I'm just looking for the queen. I haven't seen her yet. And she's probably not on this frame, because this is all pretty much capped brood.
How much bigger is she? Like a couple, like twice or 3 times the size?
No,
of her? Or-
she's maybe like a little, like maybe half the size bigger. Maybe.
But you said she moves differently.
She does. She seems to be a little, like, 'cause she's looking for a place to lay. So these are all, you know, they do have a job. She has a job, obviously, but
Yeah.
they have different jobs. So they're a little more sporadic in their movements. This frame is going to be really heavy, I can tell.
Do you think any of them like do 2 roles, where they might be going out and foraging and then coming back and taking care of, or they just go out and forage and come back and go out and forage, or do they rest and come and take care of the babies for a little bit?
They do rest at night, for sure. And it's okay if I don't see her, because I can see she's doing her job.
You see some open ones.
Yep.
That means that she recently laid them.
Yeah.
Do you have to like smoke halfway through sometimes? Oh, is that her? There's a big one right there.
That's a drone.
Oh.
She has a bigger, like, abdomen, and she's long and thin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she didn't have a stinger, does she?
Oh, yeah, she does.
Oh, does she?
And she can sting multiple times. She's not going to die.
Oh.
Because if she has to fight another queen,
Yeah.
you know,
She's got to be able to...
defend her colony. Or defend her right to be queen, I guess.
I wonder how they decide who takes care of the queen.
I don't know. That's a good question. I bet we might see her here soon.
They're drinking something right there.
Yeah, I probably, when I
that
pulled
up.
the round top feeder off, I probably spilled some. sugar water. Yeah, I see lots of eggs and stuff here, but I don't see her. Some people will mark their queen.
Oh, so they can
with
find
a
her?
marker. See, I broke those open. See, that's at the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah. Now this frame is interesting. See, that's all pollen in the middle. Do you see that? All the different colors of pollen? Like right here, straight in the middle.
Okay.
Honey on the outside, right in the middle. That's pollen. They've got orange and yellow and red.
Oh, I see.
All in the middle. So that's their pollen source. Look, there's a bee with its pollen baskets full.
Oh.
At the bottom of the frame.
Oh, down here?
Here, I'm gonna set that. Well, hold that in for a second. Just like that. Right here, walking. It's maybe it's getting rid of the pollen. It's probably taking off its legs. Yeah, see there. See it walking around with pollen on its legs?
Oh.
Little orange stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably going to take that off and put them in there.
Okay. I always wondered about that. So they put pollen in there to make the bee bread? Okay. And then they also take nectar from
all the flowers.
The flowers, and then they come back and make honey with that. So they're not making honey with the pollen, which I think some people think that's what they're doing.
Right. Nope. The pollen is essential for raising bees.
Yeah, and to cross-pollinate for flowers. So that's what nature's job is.
Yep.
So their end job really is to pollinate the earth.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's their job. And then they got to come back and keep making more bees. And so that's what they're...
I mean, that's their goal. They want to grow their colony. They want to be big.
And they can
Lots
take care of
bees.
nature.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to see this one. See the queen in here today? Yeah, I don't see her. She's really good at hiding. Sometimes I don't see her. So yeah, this
Or she might goes down at the bottom maybe while you're pulling stuff out. Or smoking. She gets down there probably.
Yep. So I'm not going to pull these other two frames because they're making honey on those. But this colony is ready for a honey super because they've got lots of...
They've been working hard.
So I built these frames. These are old frames, like drawn comb from like a dead out hive that I got from my mentor.
Okay.
So when I got them, the packages of bees, I had those two frames of drawn out comb so the queen would have somewhere to start laying while they worked on drawing comb elsewhere.
How long does it take them? Oh, it didn't take them very long, did it?
And it's important, so for all that crazy wonky comb and stuff, it's really important to keep the frames close together.
Yeah, that's why you have a little stopper so they can crawl and you not hurt them.
Yeah, come on, get out of the way. I mean, if you're not gonna move, you can't really have bees that don't understand that you shouldn't move. That's another thing that I learned from my mentor that I think is very important is genetics. So if you have a hive, you hear about all these Africanized bees and these aggressive bees and all that. If you have, because you can see they still are not upset with us. They're very calm. They're not, they're not coming at us or anything. This hive, I think,
curious.
Has really good genetics.
Yeah, they're curious.
So there are some hives that you open the box and they'll, you go to the house and they're following you to the house.
Oh, wow.
So the idea there is you need to get rid of those genetics. So the drones are the ones that, mate with the queen. So you would, the idea is you destroy the drones and then and squish the queen and get a new queen.
Oh.
Yeah. So these are all set for, and need another box. So these are plastic frames that have beeswax all over them. And basically, what we did, I went to my...
Now that's fake made beeswax.
That's real beeswax.
I mean, it's really beeswax, but it was like put in a form, or bees already made this.
Well, no. Bees did. Like my mentor's bees, he harvested the wax from his bees.
Okay.
And then what he did was he melted it down, used a paint roller, and rolled the frame.
That's what I meant. Like it was a form. Not they didn't make. They made the substance, but they didn't make the shapes.
Correct.
He just he just took the wax and created a new form so they could get started.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, but that's what's going to go on top. It'll give them lots to do. They'll be really, really, really. Like, what is this stuff up here? More space. So, I'm going to squish all of those
But that's for
together.
honey only. Are they going to try to make any areas for baby production?
I mean, they could, because I don't have a queen excluder on it.
Oh.
So.
It keeps her from going up there because she's bigger?
Yep.
I see.
Yep. So here is, well, I guess.
Oh, we got some dead bees in there.
Well, yeah, I'll clean those out. There are lots of bees in the grass over here too. I need to put this on next. Let's see. See, this is all seal all along the edges.
Yeah.
That's propolis. That's what they use to stick everything together that makes it all so sticky. Okay, let's...
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, they don't like it, but they're in there. Come on, get in there. So after I did that, did you hear them get louder?
Yes.
They're mad. They're mad. Mad because I did that. So here's the feeder. We have lots of dead bees in here, so I'll clean that out. But lots of live bees too.
They're cheating instead of going out and getting.
Yeah.
Do you have flowers planted?
Oh, everywhere. Everywhere. And then we put in a garden back there.
How far will they fly?
2 miles.
2 miles. Wow.
And I've heard up to 5 before also. So, but yeah, I've heard that they will fly up to 5 even. But I don't know. We have like honeysuckles blooming right now. So I've seen them on that.
You're going to have the catalpa blooming at the end of this month.
I know. I can't wait
And
for
that,
that.
they're going to have a heyday with all that.
Smells so good. They love the redbud trees.
You still have a red bud in the back, right?
Oh.
Did you have another one?
Over there. That one in the middle. There's one. Yeah, one there. There's some over there. So this is like equal parts sugar and equal parts water. So, and then this is a paper clip holder. This was like one of those hacks that I learned about.
Oh.
So because it gives them something to climb on. Well, I don't want them on the outside.
How do they get out of there?
They go inside, down inside.
Oh, okay. There's a hole down in there going into the feeder. Okay.
Yep. It's like a bunt pan, sort of. Bunt pan for bees. Oh, sorry. Okay. So put that on there. These guys are...
So that we can get in it without like getting in it.
Yeah, and then I put a lid on it. So
They still managed to get in there, don't they?
Well, they just too many came up inside.
And
just
pushed it. I see.
Yep. So now so now I have to put this on. Get some dead bees off here. This goes on the top to cover that. They were bearding at the entrance, and so like a beard, you know, they just kind of hang off of one another. And I had an entrance reducer so that, like right now when you look at the front, it's wide open. so they can get in all the way across here. Well, I had a piece of wood that was there that only allowed them that big, like a tiny little, maybe inch by inch space to get in and out. Well, the hive was too hot, so they were coming out and they were hot. So I just pulled that piece of wood out, and look at the pollen on that one. Oh, wow.
He's been busy, or
Yeah.
she has been busy.
Yeah.
Dude, look at how little tiny that one is. There's like a little tiny bee right there in the middle.
This one?
No, right there. This one right there.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to the rest of them. Maybe she just hatched.
Maybe. Last time I did an inspection last Saturday, I got to see one hatching.
Oh,
It was
wow.
really cool. All right, so they are set.
All
And now
right.
we got to go to the next one.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your... Is there any, like, last words of, like, what they need to be careful of, or...
Just don't. I think there are some people that keep bees and they think, oh, I'm just gonna put a hive in my yard, walk away, and leave them for months or even a year, and they need some help. There's a lot of pests that can really cause some trouble, and you know the rural mites are what's caused the lower population in bees over the years, and they really do need some kind of treatment. And as much as we like to say all natural is best, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they need some help. So I would just recommend, you know, getting in and looking. It doesn't hurt them for you to just look. And we don't look every day, but you
Once
know,
a week or every
weekly
other
check
week
or every 10 days. Definitely know what's going on so that you know what you need to do next.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Hillary.
Welcome.